achievement level. I wouldn't want to go up in smoke. You know, Ramos, one day there will be no need for power transformation. Electricity will be all around us, an invisible presence we will simply have to tap into.
The ancient myth of Antaeus.
Yes, Ramos. If we can successfully conduct the flow of high voltage energy through my body into these glass orbs, we will either revolutionize power transmission or burn me to a crisp. Conduct! Madam, please. I can assure you that whoever you are, there is nothing to fear. You are safe here.
I am Patence, wife of Rain Pony, chieftain of the Blackfoot people. I need the help of Nicodemus Legend.
And so you shall have it.
That's gonna be $1.50, Mr. Legend.
What?
That's the rate for a ride out from town.
Rate? What rate?
This is the Skeeter Cab and Transfer Company.
Skeeter, this is the hotel wagon. You were hanging out back with the dogs when I asked you to do me a favor and run me out here.
You've been telling me I ought to go into business. This is it.
For this advice, I should ride free. $1.50, is it?
Chamberlain Brown told me the first rule of business. Job's worth $1. It's worth $1.50.
Keep an eye out for those highway robbers, Skeeter. Well, Janos, new member of the balloon crew? I approve.
Oh, well, hardly. Let me introduce you. This is Patence, wife of a chieftain from the Blackfoot tribe.
Madam, it's a pleasure to meet... Wife?
Patence, this is Nicodemus Legend.
I like her attitude.
We're going to be taking Patence on a trip
Fine.
to San Francisco.
What?
Yes, and we're going to be taking the balloon to Denver, where Ramos is going to be doing a much-needed refit of some navigational aids, and then we're going to all be taking the train to Cheyenne and points west.
Are you crazy?
Define your terms.
This is my vacation. Chicago. Streetcars. Shows with real orchestras. Restaurants with tablecloths. Beautiful women drenched in fine French perfume.
Yes, but they have all of that in San Francisco, plus pork chow mein, if my memory serves. Ernest, this is an opportunity for us to help this poor woman find her family.
Her family? Blackfeet are in Wyoming, not California.
Yes, but hers are in San Francisco. I heard last night her entire tragic story.
Janos.
You could visit your mother.
My mother's half the reason I'm in Colorado.
Look at her. She's so sad, and her story is so tragic.
Oh, stop it.
It has all the elements. Lost from a family's wagon train, a child alone in the wilderness, raised by natives, married to a chieftain, and now on a search for her roots.
Janos, I need a vacation. I just finished the longest book of my career. I'm whipped. The well is dry.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you listen to her tale on the way to Denver? If you don't agree, then she will take the train to San Francisco and we will go off to Chicago.
All right, fine, fine. So, miss.
Patents.
Patents. Janos tells me you're Blackfoot.
Only by marriage.
So, San Francisco it is. Ramos, remind me to wire the Chronicle from Denver.
And
Yes, I suppose we should give my mother fair warning as well.
Ernie, who's the squaw? It's part of some new dime novel? What book you selling this time?
Not here on business this time, boys.
Here to help this woman find her family.
Should you be looking on a reservation?
If any of you have information, I hope you'll come forward. If you print her story, there's a chance her family will read about it, and that'd be a big help, too. That's all for now.
Hey, Ernie, what makes her think she'll find her family here?
She was abandoned about 20 years ago in the High Plains. All she remembers, they were headed for the biggest city in California.
Ooh, taking her home with you, Ernie?
What's your mama gonna think?
All right, that's enough, fellas. Find something else to do.
What is wrong with these people? What do they want?
Nothing that requires respect and compassion. That's the nature of journalism. Janos, did you have to bring everything?
yes, Ernest, I did.
14 Fremont Place, please.
Looking forward to meeting your mother, Ernest.
Sit down, friend Chai.
What is it you wish?
I want to buy Ernest Pratt's markers. All of them.
Pratt's. What do you want them for?
You don't need to know.
Here we are, 14 Fremont Place.
Whoa. All right. Don't be surprised if there are other guests here. My mother liked to keep what is known as a salon for artistic types and other malcontents.
I thought you were quite brave in the face of the journalistic hounds at the station.
And they call my people savages.
Speaking of that, it's time to meet my mother.
Ernest, is that really you?
Zerelda, will you marry me?
I'm sorry, young man, but you take up entirely too much room.
Still?
Well, come in.
Zerelda Toombs, this is Patents and Janos Christoph Bartok.
How do you do?
I'd say she was like one of the family, but she's far too beautiful to be a Pratt.
She certainly is.
Zerelda spent many years traveling with a medicine show. Taught me everything I know about eating fire. Is anyone with my mother?
The usual. All eating like hogs. Well, except for the Hindu gentleman. As far as I can tell, he only eats birdseed. Come with me, Ernest.
Thank you, ma'am.
Early prayer.
Nice to see you. Now, let me see if I understand you correctly. You believe women should actually be allowed the right to vote?
Women being allowed to vote. They should be able to vote twice to make up for unfairness in a male-dominated society.
I think it's only fair, don't you? But don't you see? If there were no women, there would be no men.
That's a rather
Looking as subdued as ever, Mother.
Ernest, darling, you still have that dreadful mustache.
Thanks, Mom. Mother, this is Paytense. I assume you got our wire.
Okay. Ernest, ispum mun in Itzak, kaya, kayewa.
Okay, yeah. He beer, Nicodemus.
I'm so sorry, my dear. Those two sentences were all I could manage in your language, I'm afraid. Ernest, do you remember River Runs High, the Indian who runs the auction house?
Oh, yes.
He tutored me in Blackfoot for the occasion. I hope you will accept my welcome in English as well, my dear. You mustn't be afraid, Paytense.
I am not afraid. I am here to find my real family. They were coming to the city when I was lost. I must find them, not only for myself, but for my child.
Child?
Yes. I'm carrying our first child.
Oh.
I want him to know his white ancestors, if they're still alive.
Oh. Do you have any leads?
No, not much, Mom. She was very young when she was lost.
Oh.
Her mother did leave her this, however.
Oh, it's an Irish wedding band. Oh, Ernest, what do you make of the cross engraving?
I was wondering the same thing, Mom. Oh, this...
Not a word. Oh, even before you entered the room, I sensed the aura of this distinguished gentleman. The dashing figure, the black eyes flashing Magyar mischief. Janos Christoph Bachak. Oh, Ernest's descriptions of you in his letters were grossly inadequate.
Yes, and his reports of your charm and wit were underdone as well.
Oh.
You don't speak Hungarian in the same way that you speak Blackfoot, do you?
Oh, goodness, no, I am amazed anyone can. I suppose you've heard the theory that Hungarians are beings from another planet?
Not really.
Well, how else to explain such a concentration of scientific and creative talent in one country?
Well,
not to mention the remarkable tribes that travel around in wagons like the desert Bedu. How else, indeed, to explain a language so unlike any other?
Well, it's an intriguing theory.
Yes. Let me introduce you to my salon. We have poets, philosophers, painters, and Dr. Van Allsburg, that man over there. Dr. Van Allsburg believes that there is a whole civilization of one-eyed mutants living beneath the surface of the earth.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well.
Ernest! This just came for you. The boy said it was urgent.
Excuse me. Professor. Mother, I'm sorry. I just received a note that says I should meet someone at Alger's Alley off O'Farrell right away.
From whom?
It's not signed.
Oh, then we must go immediately.
It does say, however, I should come alone. Mother, I assume you and your friends can keep the professor well entranced until I'm home?
Oh, Giannis, don't worry. Ernest is a big boy, always was. Now, about this human conduction of electricity. Can that be possible?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh. Let me explain it to you. You see, what you think?
What the heck are you doing out here?
Just looking for an exclusive, an inside scoop. Something snappy on you and your Indian gal.
That's why you dragged me out here?
I didn't drag you anywhere. I followed you.
You didn't send me this note?
No. Now, we gonna do business or not?
No, we're not gonna do business. Go away.
Pratt, you might as well dish it to me. I'm gonna do the story anyway.
Well, I can't stop you, but I'm sure not gonna help you.
Your call, hotshot.
Apologize for any pain we've caused you, Mr. Pratt, or Mr. Legend, or whatever it is you like to call yourself.
Well, you have two names for me. I've only got one for you. But I'm afraid you'd take offense and have someone hit me on the head again, and we'd be right back where we started. Who are you?
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to tell you that, sir. My client would object.
Oh, a client. Then this concussion is nothing personal, I take it.
Ah, it's good to see the blow to your head hasn't dampened your famous antic spirit.
Fortunately for me, my spirit resides elsewhere in my anatomy. Now, what say we get to the crux of this meeting?
Well, the fact of the matter is, sir, that your markers for your rather extensive gambling debts have been purchased.
All of them?
A formidable transaction, to be sure. So if you and your Indian friend exit this city immediately, I will see to it those markers are destroyed.
And?
And if you refuse, the markers will be called in and your mother's house will be sold to pay the debt.
My mother's house? Well, now, there's no reason to do that, actually. I'm not without means to pay off, you know.
Of course you are. You're a writer. Sadly, your mother, in a fit of misguided maternal devotion, placed your name on the deed alongside hers.
She did that?
The law's very clear on this point, Mr. Pratt. You and the Indian girl will leave town today, or I will start proceedings which will put your mother into the streets.
You underestimate me, sir. More dangerously for you, you underestimate my mother.
Am I to take it, sir, that you are refusing my offer?
I will tell you exactly how to take it.
Oh, my. Take him away.
Everyone. Oh, Dr. Van Allsburg, you take the head of the table. Everyone come in and just find seats, please. Dr. Van Allsburg is going to conduct a seance. concentrating on Peyton's ring. He is going to call on the spirit guidance to see if we can help her find her family. Oh, this is very exciting. We haven't had a seance here since an Eskimo shaman conjured up the shade of Julius Caesar. Of course, everyone spoke Latin. We couldn't understand a word. Oh. Ernest! Oh, yes. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid our little seance is over. Would you please leave me and my son alone? Ernest. Oh. Oh.
I've cared for many wounded among my people. Pressure's good.
I'm afraid Ernest has learned the hard way that someone is threatened by Peyton's presence here, someone with dangerous connections.
I have brought this trouble to your home. It is I who must leave.
You will do no such thing. You are going to stay under this roof for as long as it's mine.
You've been kind to me, but I will not bring any more danger to you or to Mr. Legend.
You sit down. Mr. Legend has a hard head. Takes after his father.
Oh, yes, Dad. Now I remember why I left this town. I kept getting hit in the head.
They were just trying to get your attention, Ernest, dear.
They did. They're threatening to call in my gambling markers, Mom. Take your house. Why'd you put my name on the deed?
Because I know you better than anyone else. You were always this high-flying risk-taker, the boy who ran away to the circus and worked without a net. I wanted you to have something where you could land safely if you needed it.
But where will you land?
On my feet, I'm a Pratt. Before that, I was a Monahan. I rode to California on a hard wooden box, looking at the rear end of a couple of oxen. Now, the only difference between you and me is that I didn't lose my family. No matter how hard they tried to get lost.
I love you, Mom.
Oh.
Well, the professor is right about one thing. Whoever's trying to stop us certainly has the funds to do so. Your relatives might be on Nob Hill.
Well, your mother is not without influence and contacts over there.
Yes, I know. High society is your assignment, Mother. The professor and I are a little more adept at low society. We'll handle that. Come, my friend. We have to see a man about some markers.
If you really wanted to see me, Mr. Pratt, I can think of much more polite ways than barging in here like that.
You never have been an easy man to see. I had a feeling you wouldn't want to see me at all.
And what is it you want of me?
A name. Who bought my markers?
A man you don't want to see.
Well, I really have no choice in the matter.
Suppose I don't tell you.
Chai, doesn't it get a little annoying having me around? I could come here every night, you know.
And I could have my colleague there turn you into dim sum and then some.
Chai, it's just a name. Come on.
The man who came to see me was a mere go-between. Nothing else. Beyond him, I know nothing.
Chai, if you could just point me toward the gentle prince who whacked me in the head, I'd be satisfied.
The tattoo man. No one knows his real name. He owns a store on East Street. But if I were you, I would go home.
Yes, well, as I said, I have no choice in the matter.
Nevertheless, I strongly recommend you go home. You see, the tattooed man knows where you live. And he also knows your Indian lady lives there also.
Oh, Ernest! Ernest, they took her. Two men came and broke the door down and they just dragged her away. We tried to stop them.
When did this happen?
Just a few moments ago. It was awful. Look what they did to poor Dr. Van Alsburg. Oh,
It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay. It's gonna be all right.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. I should have been looking. Well, the disc is in his pocket. It'll transmit a high-frequency sound, which will be registered on the receiver for a brief period. How brief? Well, it's a work in progress. Oh, all right, let's go.
Which way, Professor?
Well, the signal has grown weak. I would say, well, I guess in that direction.
Back to guessing, are we?
I was followed.
Naturally. Did you lose them?
Sure. But I don't like keeping her here. When do we get rid of her?
Tonight. After dark. Our client is particular as to what happens to her as long as she never returns to San Francisco and nothing disagreeable is ever found.
We're getting closer. In here.
sell her.
Sell her?
Oh, yes. It's quite a market abroad for white women.
Even a squaw.
Yes, it's a pity, though. There's always the chance that she could turn up again.
Ernest Pratt, all-purpose. Get out of the house before Mom finds out. Lockpick.
Some mongrel might dig her up.
Then dump her.
Yes, yes. It's an awfully big bay, isn't it? Do you suppose you might find a big rock or two? It shouldn't be too bad, and unless, of course, she's not quite dead.
Excuse me.
This is my husband, Rain Pony.
Who hired you? Come on, tell me.
Witnesses said they heard strange oriental screaming and loud electrical explosions coming from a warehouse. A dead body, identified as that of Andre Keller, well-known North Beach underworld character, was apparently killed with an Indian arrow. This would appear to be the first Indian attack in downtown San Francisco in 50 years. Police are baffled. Well, aren't they always?
Oh, the papers wanted their story.
Rain Pony wants me to come home with him. He does not understand your people. But I told him that our work here is not finished.
Good girl. Ah, my research staff. Going on the assumption that Paytense was part of an Irish family, I had Zerelda go over the social register and good Mrs. O'Hara to canvass her countrymen.
We found a certain Walsh family. Shipping piles of money. Came to San Francisco about the time Peyton's family came here.
Melissa Walsh is a widow who lives on Stalker. Dr. Van Alsberg tells me that he has conducted many a seance at her home.
Well, then it is conceivable that Mrs. Walsh is a member of the family.
Mrs. Walsh's husband, Liam, died several years ago, leaving her the sole heir to the family fortune.
Not if Paytense is a blood relative. Professor, I could use the opportunity to sneak around that house, maybe find something that might connect Paytense to the family. What do you say to a little second-story action, eh?
No need for that. The annual Hibernian Masked Ball. This year it's to be held at Mrs. Walsh's house. I was invited. It says I could bring a companion.
Seance? What? We could take one to her. And I could conjure up some ghosts, and you could rifle upstairs. You must tell me everything that you can remember about your mother, about the trip west.
Go get the door, please. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you.
I brought my sister-in-law and her son. And her husband, and their retainer. They never go anywhere without Bapu. And this is my great-aunt on my mother's side. Oh, and this is my cousin's personal physician, an Iroquois root doctor. Quite amazing. If you'd like, I could have him brew up a batch of his special rejuvenating tea.
Good evening. Is it Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes, a pleasure to be here.
The invitation did say that you could bring a guest,
And
but...
here he is, Dr. Janos Bartok.
Isn't that Mrs. Pratt's maid?
Professor Bartok is the famous Hungarian medium.
Medium?
A pleasure. I feel the presence of many an active spirit in this room.
You do?
It's a good thing I've come in time. What you are in the need of is a good psychic purging.
Oh.
Now, what I will require is a table, 13 chairs, a bell, candle, oh, and a sardine sandwich. I haven't eaten since breakfast.
Really? Yes, I'm sure it's goat cheese.
Place your fingers above the table, spread them wide, and feel the vibrations. Now, in the name of Rudash, Jobel, and Honani the Unknowable, we enter in the spirit world. I want you to firmly grasp the hands now of those who are sitting next to you. Without fast movements, clasp them firmly, and our life forces will unite to form an unbroken circle of energy to draw the spirits near. Close your eyes. We are now entering into the world of the mysterious, into the realm of secrets and shadows.
Like family pictures, young man?
Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. I was at the party downstairs and I got lost looking for the bathroom.
My family. This is the last picture of them taken before we went west.
This is your family?
Most of us came out by ship, but my son Patty, his wife Mary, and their child came out by wagon.
I'm hearing a spirit voice. Faintly. Faintly. Will you identify yourself? There's no need to frighten us. We are your friends. Wait, there's something stronger, much stronger. I feel that there's a blood tie between this spirit and someone at this table. Please, tell us who you are.
I am the shade of Mary Walsh. I am cold. I miss my family, my daughter, my son. Liam is with me and sends his love to his wife, Melissa. Melissa Walsh. Tell her Liam is at peace.
Is there anything else you want to tell us, Mary?
Liam wants to know why Melissa is being unkind to my daughter.
If only they'd come with us.
Mrs. Walsh. It is Mrs. Walsh, isn't it?
Yes,
Your ring is very beautiful. May I look at it?
yes. It's Irish. All the women in the Walsh family wear them.
Ma'am, about Paddy and his family.
Dead. All of them killed by Indians. Even their little daughter, Patience.
Patience? Mrs. Walsh,
Yes,
I have something very important to tell you.
Mary, please tell us, where is your daughter?
My daughter is in this very room tonight. She came to San Francisco to find me, to find her family. Instead of love and kindness, she's been met by violence.
Excuse me, just for a moment. What happened?
How do I know? You're the famous European scientist.
When?
Lights! Bring the lights! This is a sham. The whole thing is a sham. Throw this Hungarian charlatan out into the street. Get them out. The whole shameful lot of them.
sit down, Melissa. Sit down and be quiet.
Grandmother Walsh, please don't let these people barge
Quiet,
in here
Melissa.
and tell you.
Patience, you're the image of your dear mother. You're beautiful. Oh, you're home at last. Oh.
I'm having Benny Sarbanes go over the legal papers for Paytense. Oh, I suppose I should be getting used to calling her Patience.
Sarbanes. Is he the guy who defended the Sausalito 7?
The very one. The most vicious attorney west of Rito. He's got that on his cards now.
Yes, I'll bet he does. Lawyers, reporters, in-laws. Is it any wonder Paytense and Rain Pony made a beeline for the wilderness?
Well, at least their child's inheritance will be protected. Have I told you how proud I am of my son?
Really?
Mm-hmm. You're becoming more and more like that wonderful character you write.
Mother, Nicodemus Legend is fictional.
But he's your fiction, Ernest, and you couldn't have created him if you didn't know him very, very well.
I love you, Mom.
Love you.
Bye.
Goodbye, Delilah. See you in the spring. And the Zuko twins. A Scandinavian juggling troupe may come as well. Oh, you should see what they do with Hamlet.
I can only imagine.